Now our primary business is marine decking products, flooring for boats, and we use an EVA foam material to do that with. It's a soft, resilient, great wet non-skid material. We're able to create all kinds of patterns and color combinations, faux teak effects and such. We sell that to OEM boat builders. That's still the largest part of what we do, but we've also got aftermarket custom installation. Last couple of years we've developed a certified fabricator installer program network around the country, and they are able to go to individuals' boats and pattern and install SeaDek. So we've got both the end user and the boat builders. We thought at the time that having our own business relating to surfing would allow us to go surfing whenever we wanted to, but that didn't work out that way. We realized pretty soon that we roped ourselves into a 12-hour-a-day job. But we enjoyed it. We liked tinkering and making things. We started the fin business. I think our parents loaned us $1,000, and we opened a little grinding shop for making the fins next to one of the board builders who we're working with, just a little rental bay on North Merritt Island. The X-Track surf traction product was a big thing for us. We started working with Kelly Slater, 11-time world surf champ, who grew up where we were in Cocoa Beach, so I knew him from fairly young. When we started we did some prototype X-Track pads, and we gave them to Kelly to try, and he was just turned pro. He was just this, the hot new thing. And he liked them and started using them. And that kind of kick-started things for us a little bit. And then a year and a half into X-Track, he and his manager, business partner, came to us and asked if we would do a traction brand for him. K-Grip is what we ended up calling it. We established SeaDek, which is the brand for the marine industry. After a while, it became clear to us that the surfing side of things wasn't really going to go anywhere. Not a very money demographic, put it that way. We brought some other folks in that were more marine industry geared than we were, and began to beat the bushes out there with local boat builders, hoping to gain their interest. Bringing those folks in sort of set the stage for going from a purely mom and pop thing with my brother and I and Susan to having people with a diversity of capabilities who could come in and contribute. There was a bit of a rethink going on in the marine industry. And we were there with something pretty innovative that made sense to some of the folks that weren't so set in their ways. So coming out of the recession, it was interesting that when the dominoes started falling, it really picked up speed, and it hasn't stopped really. We've come a long way from where this mom and pop thing we were. You've got to bring folks in that are more capable, smarter than you are, hopefully, and again, trust them. We are beginning to work into alternative markets. Pool and spa, for example, we're doing a lot of product now for Master Spas, who's one of the largest manufacturers of spas, and particularly the swim spa. They have these therapeutic spas where you swim in place. It's got the current that pushes against you. They saw us on boats and recognized the potential for the similar sorts of products in their spas. So that's beginning to take off, the development of that market. It has perhaps as much or more potential ultimately than the marine market does. But we're doing that under the SeaDek brand. So we're trying to grow another brand to go along with SeaDek. Manufacturers, they want immediate, just-in-time sort of delivery of product. And given the diversity of shapes and sizes and patterns and all of product that goes into boats, it would be difficult to try to do that out of China. As a supplier, an OEM supplier, you need to be close to those folks. So from that perspective, I don't think that we have as much concern about product coming from overseas. We are breeding competition in the United States, though, because we've been successful. So that's something to consider. We realized early on as we grew, hopefully, we were going to need a home, a place for our manufacturing operation. So one of the first things we did was to buy a little piece of property in Rockledge, a 3-year balloon we saved up. We had this property paid off in 3 years, and then went to the bank and said, we have this piece of property. It's all paid off. Will you please loan us some money so that we can build a little building? And I think the timing was right, because at that time, I think it was 88 or something, the banks were fairly loose, and they took a chance. So we built a little building. Eventually we sold that and moved into a larger building, built another building on Gus Hip in Rockledge. And that's really where SeaDek sort of kicked in once we moved into that building. That was in 2004, I think. So we built the first building, expanded it, sold it, bought another piece of property, built a bigger building. And then in 2014, we bought the old Schenk beer distribution facility in Rockledge. It was much, much bigger than where we were. But the point is that I think it was good for us to establish that with the banks, that history of buying properties, paying them off, staying solvent the whole time. Probably the most important thing is to, if you can, start a business involved in something you love. My brother and I did that with surfing. We've strayed ways from that. I think as time went on, though, we enjoyed the process, and I enjoy the process more and more today of helping to run an organization. As you get more people involved, you realize how important those people are, and those human relationships sort of take over. So it was kind of a labor of love at first, which is important, because that's what's going to get you through the really foundational tough times. That's what's you'll sacrifice and you'll put everything back in, because this is really what you want. So if you got something you really, really enjoy, really love, then and you can figure out a way to build a business around that, it's the best thing.